Hey, you lovely, beautiful viewers. So, this is a recap of the amazing adventure that I have just been on, showing you all my pictures that I took along the way, pinpointing some key locations. So on the 25th of July, I travelled down to London with absolutely no plans and nowhere to stay, apart from the idea to just do plenty of walking and wild camping along the way. I arrived in London at around 9 o'clock on the 25th of July, and I thought I would start off by having a midnight stroll down the Thames. After walking most of the night and making it to just after the Shard, I pitched up my tent for the very first time. In the morning, I continued on down the Thames, passing the O2 Arena, having a look around the O2 and also having a ride on the IFS Cloud cable cars. Then on to London City Airport, where I did some plane watching. I walked a little further on and came to some construction. This is where I jumped on a bus to Stratford. Then on the subway to have a visit to Camden Market. Then I walked from Camden to St James's Park, where I spent the second night. On the 27th was the big Tommy Robinson demonstration, where, as always, I met a lot of other content creators. That night, after a long, hot, sunny day, I spent the night in Hyde Park. In the morning, I jumped on a train down to Dover, where I had a beautiful, scenic walk along the cliff tops, and I even spent the night up there too. In the morning, I spent a little while longer looking around Dover, and then I jumped on a train from Dover to a place called Faversham, where I spent the afternoon with some good friends of mine, Lynx and RJ, at a cosy little pub where I even got asked for my very first autograph. Then it was back on my travels and I went on to Guildford to meet up with another mate of mine, Anne. I spent a few days with her visiting Virginia Water Lake and also Guildford Castle, where I may have caught my first ghost on camera. Then I headed from Guildford down to Brighton. I spent a few days here with my family. I went live, having a walk down the front to the marina and back again. Then came the next big part of my adventure, seeing how far along the south coast I could actually walk, with Cornwall as my main target point. So I walked all the way from Brighton to Bognor Regis. At Bognor, I jumped on a few buses right through to Southampton. Here I walked from the city centre up to a place called Tutton, where I arrived at a little cosy pub, there meeting some absolutely awesome people and a little dog called Daisy. In the morning, I continued on my way, passing through Lyndhurst and cutting through the huge New Forest Park, seeing some wild horses and even having a ride along on a horse and carriage.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my days! Oh my days!
Then it was on to a place called Leamington. Leamington had to be one of my favourite, most beautiful scenic places, looking out right across with the most clear view of the Isle of Wight. I even spent the night here, where I pitched up my tent in the most remote of places. It was so peaceful and tranquil. I walked all the way from Leamington to Milton, where I jumped on a bus straight through to Bournemouth. There I soaked my sore feet in the sea. It was very much needed. And then I took my first ferry crossing to Shell Bay Beach and continued my way right through to Swanage. From Swanage I walked past Dalston Castle and Dancing Ledge up to a place called Worth. Here I jumped on a bus to Wareham and then on a train down to Weymouth. Arriving in Weymouth, I was so exhausted and cold, I spent most of the afternoon in Wetherspoons. After recharging my battery, I started once again, making my way along the coast. I made it all the way to Bridgeport, where I jumped on a bus, calling through Lyme Regis, Exminster, down to a place called Beer, another beautiful location where I spent the night. On from Beer, I walked all the way to Sidmouth. Then I jumped on another bus on to Exmouth. Here is where I met the most awesome, chilled out guys, Chris and Dan, and spent a few days just chilling with those two and having loads of fun. We did nothing but hang out by the beach, soaking up the sun and just having a right laugh. Honestly, we had so much fun. We really did just chill, bond and swap some life stories until we had to depart and go our separate ways. After having an awesome time recuperating with these two, I once again was on my way. I got a few buses from Exmouth, calling through Exeter down to Torquay, where I spent the night. Then on from Torquay, I walked through Pageton, I may have got that wrong, through all the way through to Brixham. At this point, I was so cold and in need of a wash. I spent my first night in an hotel. Here is Barry Head Hotel, sat snugly on top of a hill, overlooking the ocean, as you can see here. Absolutely stunning location to just sit out here overlooking this as a view. What an absolutely beautiful place it was. Fantastic hotel, and I really enjoyed spending the night here. I continued on my way all the way through to Kingsway, where I got another ferry crossing to Dartmouth. At Dartmouth, I jumped on a bus right through to Plymouth, where I was welcomed by a firework display and I spent the night here. And then, of course, it was another quick ferry crossing from Plymouth to the start of Cornwall. This is me now arriving at the very top of Cornwall to embark on my next part of the adventure. So, in total, it took me 12 days to make it all the way from Cremyll, calling through King's End, onto Michael's Chapel, to a place called Frethy, to a beautiful location called Loo, onto Fowey, where I got another ferry crossing to Mevagissey, right through to Falmouth, down to the Lizard's Point, through to Porthleven, passing through Marizon and St Michael's Mount, calling by Penzance and Newlyn, and a quick visit to the Mouse Hall. Then it was my final push past the Minnock Theatre, arriving in LandsEnd on the 26th of August, and I just couldn't resist spending the night in the LandsEnd Hotel to watch the Magic in the Skies firework display on the Tuesday 27th of August. Okay, so these are the main key points along the way that I took pictures of the street signs and the National Trust signs along the way. Now, some of these may not quite be in order. There may be a few mix-ups. So if some of you experts out there want to correct me in the comments, then go right ahead. But to my best of my ability, I've put these in order the best I can. But obviously there's a few leaps and jumps between places because I either did not see them or missed them or went away from, got diverted away, or I just didn't end up taking a picture at that moment as I passed a sign for whatever reason. But there's plenty here, as you can see. I've taken plenty of main key points along the way. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Like I say, put all your thoughts and comments down below. And yeah, this was my photo reel of my big adventure from Dover, well, should I say London to Dover, back to London, Guildford, back to London, down to Brighton, and then my main starting point from Brighton all the way to Cornwall, down to LandsEnd. And these are extra pictures thrown in for good measure. Pictures that I didn't include in the main section. But yeah, just some really good, amazing pictures if I don't say so myself. So I really hope you've enjoyed this upload. Like I said, this was just a photo reel and my big adventure all rolled into one. And yeah, this was it. a month's worth of footage. A month's worth of footage rolled into 15 minutes. So I hope you really thoroughly have enjoyed this. And until the next upload, whenever that may be, and my next big adventure, whenever that may be, I shall see you on the next one. Until then, massive thank you for all your ongoing support. Sending lots of love out to you all. And a massive bye.